Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nebulum podcast. If you're new here, this podcast is about fulfillment. My goal is to inspire and guide you along your journey to follow your dreams. And we like to champion people who are on that very journey. And in that vein, this is a very, very special episode because we have a very, very special guest with me here today. I'm a big fan of her. This woman is a songwriter, a performer, a composer, a producer, a phenomenal singer, a phenomenal visual artist as well. She just does it all, folks. She is the creative of creatives. And she just dropped an album, which is, oh my God, we will definitely get into that. But without further ado, join me in welcoming Apurva.
Thank you so much, Sale. Wow, that was so sweet. Thank you. It's really exciting to be here with you. You're also absolutely a creative that I look up to so dearly.
Stop it.
And I'm just very excited and fortunate to be featured on your podcast. And I'm really, really excited. Podcast conversation.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm such a fan of you as well. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. This is really cool. You're my first like artist interview.
Oh my
So
gosh, how
this is
special.
also very, very special.
Yay.
To jump into things, this podcast is about fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you are fulfilled, or are you on a journey towards fulfillment? What would you say about that?
That's a great place to start for this. Um, I would say at the moment, I'm very close to what I think is fulfillment
Mm,
for me. Now, I will say that at the moment, I'm not super grounded in my reality when it comes to fulfillment. So,
okay.
to give you a little bit of background, I grew up in the Bay Area, went to college, came out with a double major in statistics and English,
Well,
did the whole corporate route. So the whole time I had a huge passion for music, and that's always what I wanted to do. Um, but, either it was a matter of resources or it was a matter of like I wanted to be independent and be able to find my way through that. So I did the whole college thing. I had a job. I was living in Atlanta for a couple of years working as a consultant. And the whole time, I was decent at my job. I had a great group of friends. I
mm,
was living my life in my early 20s, but fulfillment was truly missing the
mm,
whole time. And the one thing I've often said to people who ask me what that was like was I felt like I was living a good life,
mm-hmm,
but I wasn't living my life,
mm,
um, or what I envisioned I wanted my life to look like.
mm-hmm,
And I made the decision to quit that job and move back home to save some money and pour everything, all my time and energy into my music, which is what
mm,
I've always wanted to do. And
mm.
so, from that end of sort of pursuing and living my dream out, I'm absolutely feeling fulfilled right now. And having dropped, for the last year, 5 singles,
Wow.
leading up to an album of 7 songs.
Wow.
Um, it's been a dream, honestly. Um, and then the only caveat I would say when it comes to, I love that you also asked about whether it's a journey, and it absolutely is. I
Mm-hmm,
think I'm starting on the path of fulfillment. I'm
mm-hmm,
starting to feel what that feels like,
mm-hmm.
and there's so much further to go. There's so much more to do.
Yeah.
There's so much more to not just achieve, but to find
Yeah.
um, and create. So I'm really excited for that.
That's fucking fantastic. I
Yeah.
hope you don't mind if I curse.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm so glad I'm allowed to as
Yes,
well.
you definitely are.
Awesome.
No, that's really amazing. I admire that because I mean, what is life if we're not fulfilled? If we're just living some kind of mundane existence that
Yeah.
someone else has set out for us,
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of bravery to
Mhm.
do what you did and actually pursue what you're pursuing. And I imagine it wasn't, or maybe it was. Was it easy? Was it just an easy
Mm.
decision to make for you?
Yeah. You know, A lot of people say that to me as well when I tell them, oh, I quit everything and upped my life and I'm doing music. And they're like, wow, that's so brave. And I think bravery is really interesting because I don't always think of it as brave
Mm.
because of how much fear I had making that sort of choice. Um, Part of the reason that I'm doing it at the timing that I'm doing it in.
Timing.
We'll get to that in a minute. I do have that song coming up. But part of that timing has to do with the fact that it took a lot of mental convincing that
Mm.
I was going to make the right decision. And
Mhm.
so I think it is brave, but it definitely took a lot of fear and a
Yeah.
lot of moving through that fear and
Yeah.
sort of deciding that, well, would it be better to live with that fear for the rest of my life or just try it,
Mhm.
be scared anyway, because the
Mhm.
fear doesn't just go away.
Mhm.
Once you start working on something, it just gets smaller or it redirects or it
Mhm.
changes. Um, but yeah, it wasn't easy. It took me
Yeah.
a few years to
Mhm.
really wrap my head around what that would look like. And it took me a few no's. I applied to some things musically that didn't happen for me. And
Mm.
I, again, it made me kind of wonder, okay, wait, do I really want to do this? Am I really ready?
Yeah.
Um, but then I just took that leap. Thank
Yeah.
God. And now that I'm doing it, it's so much easier to say, oh, yeah, I'm doing it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is brave because I don't think bravery is when you're not scared. I
Mm,
think bravery doesn't really come up when you're not scared.
mm,
It's when you're scared, when there's so much fear and you
mm.
push through that. That I think is brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like being scared, but doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, I love that.
yeah, shout out you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So clearly it wasn't a straightforward path. There was a
Mm.
lot of deliberation and all of that. Was there a moment where you decided was there like something that happened, or was it just like, was there a straw that broke the camel's back,
Yeah.
or was it just like brewing, 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 and then it eventually overflowed?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was sort of a mixture.
Mm-hmm.
It had been brewing for a long time, but I remember when I got my job in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and had actually tried to. This was back in 2022. It was COVID. I had graduated college, and I was looking for a job. And in that time, I had actually found a studio and started recording some of my music
Okay.
that's out today. And at the same time, I was interviewing for jobs. So I remember when I got the job, my I was super happy because it was something that I was looking to have for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but I also had a sinking feeling in my
Mm.
chest because I remember thinking, okay, now I'm committed to
Yeah.
this job for the next however many years.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to have to pause or slow down on my creative journey. And so when that happened and I did move to Atlanta, I did think to myself, I'm not here for more than 2 to 3 years. Like there
Mm.
was a part of me, maybe subconsciously, I don't know if it was super conscious, but I just knew that I wasn't going to be there that long.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling. And I remember when the clock struck 2024, um, I just woke up like at the beginning of 2024 in January, and I just decided like this was the year that I was going to make the decisions I had
Mm-hmm.
to make music happen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, okay, why music? How did music come into your life? How did you
Oh,
embark on that journey?
oh, I love that. I was a singer from the moment I was born. So
Okay.
so dramatic. Maybe I
just
was 3
just
years
out of
old.
the womb. That wasn't
Out of the
crying. That was
womb.
hitting
No,
that note.
I wasn't crying when I was born. I was singing. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Maybe I was 2 or 3 years old,
Mm.
and my family, we used to watch a lot of Bollywood movies. I'm
Mm.
Indian, South Asian, and I almost always had melodies of songs memorized within a couple of times of hearing it.
Mm.
And so my mom and dad, they kind of noticed. They were like, huh, she likes this whole music thing a lot. And so at a young age, I think I was 7 years old, my mom put me in Hindustani classical music training.
Okay.
And it's a very sort of complicated, vast world of
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Um, we could do a whole other episode on it and how that works. But I think starting on that every Saturday morning. I think I used to have classes at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. on Saturday mornings
Mm.
with a small group of people. and just would wake up singing every weekend, right? So
Mm.
that kind of, it just became a part of my life.
Yeah.
And it, even the training aspect became just such an integral part of singing for me. So I never saw it anymore as like, just a thing to do for fun. Although it was all for fun and I was just always happy to do it. But for me, it was always more than that. It felt like a career from the beginning, sort of.
Really? From
Yeah.
two?
From yes, before I gained consciousness, I knew. No, I would say I would like middle school, high school, when I would join the choir programs at school, that was when I really got into it and I thought, okay, I mean, I want to do this every day of my life. And
I
that's
see.
when I really started visualizing what it would look like for me to, be on Broadway. I remember for some time one of my dreams was to be on Broadway
Okay.
and I just loved musicals. I was obsessed with the world they created. Oop, my bad.
Mm.
Obsessed with the world they created, and then a few years later, I was really into the a cappella scene. And in college, I joined an a cappella group, and so I was
Okay.
always just very intertwined,
Yeah.
very
Always,
intertwined.
it's always been part of your life.
Yeah, yeah, like without question. Like every time I would join something, you'd be like, "So where's the music part of it, and how do I find myself there?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. That's cool.
yeah.
And it sounds like your parents were always very supportive in this.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I'm very fortunate to have amazing immigrant parents who are so supportive of it, especially today and over the last year and a half to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've been so fantastic at just encouraging me every step of the way
Mm-hmm.
and treating it like the career that I want.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't always like that. And
Okay.
that's because, as an immigrant, and maybe you relate to this as well, Zale, but there's always this like search for stability.
Mm.
And they sacrifice so much to come
Mm-hmm.
here. And um in a lot of ways started with very little, and
Mm.
then made their whole life here and gave so much to me and my younger sister. And with that, there was a certain fear, understandably so, of, hey, we want to make sure like we've created this amazing foundation for you, that you continue to build on this, right?
Mm.
And you continue to have a wonderful life, a
Mm-hmm.
comfortable life,
Mm-hmm.
one where you're not struggling.
Yeah.
Um and every parent wants that for their child, so
Yeah.
in the middle there, when I was younger, there were some complicated years where I didn't really even know what my vision was. They didn't know what it would look like. And so there was a part of me that put off my dream for a while, right? And
Mm.
that's when I decided to go into college for statistics and English
Mm-hmm.
rather than something like music, which I had considered, just because none of us really knew what it would look like.
Yeah.
And, not a lot of people in the music industry look like me.
Mm.
In this world, in
Mm-hmm.
the American world, and that's not to say Bollywood is so rich, right? And
Sure.
India is so full of so much entertainment talent,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? Um, so I definitely had a lot of influences and inspirations there, but in the Western world, in the pop industry, there were not a lot of people that looked like me. Um, and so I think there was just like a general resistance in my mind of like, well, can I actually do this? You know,
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Well, it seems like you're doing it.
I am now. Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so what has been the journey up to that point? You've mentioned, the background with the Hindustani classical singing
Mm-hmm.
and choir and
Yeah.
a cappella and all of that.
Yeah.
So, what was your journey with actually starting to make and release your own music up to this point? How do you get here?
How did I get here? How did I get here? Is that meme? Anyway, um, let's see. I was in a really tough spot in college. I had done all this with that checklist of like, this is how I get to stability, right? And I had
Mm.
gone to college and I was like, all right, I'm going to do my statistics major and I love English. So I'm just going to pursue English for fun. And then it turned into a major. Um, and somewhere in that journey, I sort of lost faith in what I was doing and who I was.
Mm.
And in that time was when I wrote my first song. So I was 19, maybe 18, 19.
Mm.
and I wrote Stuck, which
Ah,
is on my
which is on
album.
the
It's the
album.
second song on the album.
Yes.
And that was me really wondering where that kind of music side had gone. And honestly, that song was the first breakthrough of me realizing, oh, I can write songs and
Mm-hmm.
find myself on stage
Mm-hmm.
through songs. Because I love performing and I love singing. And songwriting was something like I was always a poet. Growing up, I was always a poet, but I'd never translated that into writing music.
I see.
And sort of being in that really dark place at that time opened me up to
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah.
Um, and and then I just have been writing just like I can't stop kind of writing songs. So I have so many. But this whole album of songs, it was my plan from like 2019, 2020. I
Okay.
had already written all these songs and I was like, I'm gonna come out with an album. And
Yeah.
that's what had pushed me in 2022. And I'm just happy that it's actually gotten there and I've
Yeah.
done what 20-year-old me, had in mind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So this album has been kind of like 6, 7 years in the
Yeah,
6, 7 years in the making.
7, absolutely.
um, that's awesome. That's
Thank
awesome because
you.
it's come together so well,
Thank you.
Um, okay, so let's get into the album then.
Okay, let's do it.
Tell me what inspired the album. You
Yeah,
mentioned Stuck, that first song you
yeah,
wrote.
yeah.
I'm guessing you were feeling stuck or something.
I was feeling stuck. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, tell me what inspired the album.
Yeah. Um, I've always been a storyteller. I mentioned I used to write a lot of poetry.
Mm-hmm.
I used to also write like little sort of like fan fiction, but I would
Mm-hmm.
make my own plot lines and kind of write these like mini novels when I was a kid. And so when I wrote Stuck, and then a couple months later, I wrote Picturing Us. Um, and then it sort of just kept going. So Puzzle, Timing, all these songs started coming out of me. And I think after I wrote maybe 10 or 12 of them, an image started to form in my mind
Mm.
of, well, this phase of my life, I've been sort of growing in a certain way and coming to certain conclusions and finding this part of myself,
Mm-hmm.
that this piece of myself,
Mm.
pieces
Mm.
reference. Sorry guys, it's such a bad habit because you do this too, but so many of our friends, like every time I say a word, they're like timing reference, pieces reference. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I had been finding all these pieces of myself that
Yeah.
I hadn't found before. And so it just made sense to me to kind of
Mm-hmm.
envelope them all together,
Okay.
and make it into an album. And I sat with the ordering the
Mm-hmm.
track list
Yeah.
for a very long time because I was
Yeah.
like, well, do I want to tell it in a way that follows Apurva's growth and journey,
Mm-hmm.
or is this the time where you package it as a story on its own?
Okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of times you have all these pieces and like a puzzle, when you put them together in a different orientation, it can speak
Yeah.
different volumes. It can
Yeah.
speak different, yeah, like different learnings and different sentences for people.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually I changed the track list a bunch of times. And that's why it's not in the order of, the chronological order of how I wrote these songs. It's more
Okay.
of it's become a story on its own of this girl sort of starting with not knowing what's
Mm.
around her, like starting with puzzle
Mm-hmm.
and trying to make sense of what she's finding, feeling
Yeah.
stuck,
Yeah.
feeling like she's in pieces and she can't make it, and
Mm.
then slowly over the getting closer and closer to the final picture. And that's why I have the ending song as Picturing Us, which
I see.
is, sort of it's a nostalgic romantic song. Um but it just does so well as like an end picture that you
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good order.
Yeah.
And a good way to tell that story,
Yeah.
starting from.
Well, actually, I was so curious because you were at I held a little release celebration
Yes, I was
a
at your
couple
album
days
release
ago.
party. It was
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna ask you, what did you think of, listening to the album in the order that it was in? And I know I gave some tidbits and stuff like that, but what did you think?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have known that it wasn't necessarily in chronological order because I feel
Mm.
like the story made sense
Okay.
in terms of the things you're going through
Yeah.
and the way things progress to the end. What struck me was the variety of the album in terms of like sonically,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Because usually people try to make the album sound like every song sound in a similar
Right.
way, I guess. But this one, what ties it together was more the through line of the story,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I feel like the dynamic nature of the sonic variety of the album
Yeah.
actually lended well to telling that story because it
Mm.
carries you along with these different emotions. So
Mm.
that was really cool.
That's awesome.
And I would love to dive into each song
Yeah. Let's
and
do it.
we can get more of the story behind the song and then also what went into the production of like
Yeah.
making the song.
Absolutely.
So let's go in order.
Okay. Awesome.
By the way, we didn't say the name of the album.
Oh yeah. It's called Puzzle.
Puzzle.
And it's out on all platforms now.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great listen. So let's dive in.
Yeah.
Start with Puzzle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, I remember I think No Time to Die by James, like the James Bond movie had just come out.
Oh,
Couple, maybe the year before I had written it or something like that. And I just had gone on this deep dive of listening to all these James Bond soundtracks, theme songs. And so it's absolutely inspired from that. You know, a lot of people heard him like, "Oh, did you use James Bond?" Yes, I did. Absolutely. I'm not hiding that.
mm-hmm.
And I think, I was a huge fan of Adele at the time and Skyfall as well. And that sonic world that they created always brought out so much emotion in me. There was so
Mm-hmm.
much tension and there's so much suspense, and yet it's very freeing. Like that sort of chord progression and the orchestras, that's how they would feel to me. So I just always wanted to write a film score. I would love to write for films. I'd love to write for
Yeah.
TV shows and
Yeah.
compose. And I've done a couple of short film scores as well. And that's where that biggest inspiration from. And Puzzle lyrically and story wise talks about, a very spicy situation.
Ooh.
It's very sensual, it's very explorative, it's a little evocative. And it's always what I wanted to hear from the Bond songs, I think. I always
Okay.
wanted a little bit more of a blatant lyricism. I don't want
Yeah.
to say explicit, but a little bit more on the nose.
Sure.
And so I literally just went for it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Be the
now is the
change.
time to disappoint my mom and my dad. I was like 20 too, so I was like so young. Um, and yeah, that's how that one came about. And some of it's from personal experience, and some of it is from hearing a lot of experiences from my women. Good.
Ooh, all right.
Happy to be there for you. No, from women that were very close friends of mine. And I do want to touch on this because I think Puzzle, and I talked about this at the release party,
Mhm.
but I think Puzzle masks itself as a very sensual song. And, ooh, like she's talking about sex. But, I think it's actually a lot more about gray area and power dynamics, and there is that sense of suspense of like uncertainty,
Mhm.
you know? And I wanted to make a song that has both. You can listen to it and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you can also listen to it and get something else out of it, feel seen in a
Yeah.
different way. And
Yeah.
then I think as a woman and with a lot of my friends, like we all share experiences of those sort of uncertain areas and uncertain times, right?
Mhm.
And I just found it important to find a exciting way to make that feel seen. Not always a sad song or not always a um, inspirational song necessarily.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can help to reclaim that by sort of diving just deeper further into it,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Um, and I don't know I don't know why I decided to start the album with that. Mostly because I think story wise it just fits so well as like, we're starting with the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go deeper into it.
Yeah.
But I think it's the highest production song. I worked with Austin, my engineer, on this. He's fantastic, Austin Coffee. I go to Strawberry Hill Studios in Nevada, and they're just amazing.
Cool.
And Austin, I arranged this whole like 15, 16 piece orchestra, which was incredible. Um, and it was my first time doing anything like that. And then Austin jumped in and just helped like elevate so much of it dynamically and add so much nuance to it. And just gave it that film score esque
Yeah.
aspect that I was looking for. So it's definitely the heaviest on production of my entire album.
Yeah, I definitely feel the film score vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to it and I was like, this would be good for sync. Like you should look
Oh, yeah.
into getting in touch with some creative directors for sync. That would be cool.
Ooh, thank you. Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that. That would fit well.
Also, you worked in some of your Indian classical singing into that song.
Oh, I did. Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. That was cool. Tell me about that decision.
Yeah. You know what's so interesting? I've had this song for 8 years, right? And never had that part in it. And I was in the studio and I was recording my vocals, this past year, I think July last year. And I just was like, there are these huge Bollywood movies like Devdas and Padmavat. And if you're South Asian, you probably know these titles. Bajirao Mastani. These are like huge, massive productions. And the music is always so intense and so dramatic and sort of leave you haunted.
Mm.
And I think Puzzle sort of started to become that song for me in a lot of ways. It haunted me a lot. And I wanted to bring a piece of that, into everyone here, into everyone in this world, in the Western world, who maybe haven't seen these massively beautiful movies by
Yeah.
Bollywood. And I think having that it's called an alap when you have a little vocalizing on the ah,
Okay.
and it's in the bridge section of the song. And I just thought it added so much drama, and it added so much of that suspense and that gray area that the listener might go, "Huh, maybe this is not a straightforward song
Yeah.
about enjoying sensuality. Maybe there's more to it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fantastic production.
Ah,
Fantastic
thank
job.
you.
So many elements in that song.
Yeah, there's a
It
lot.
comes together quite nicely. Shout out Austin.
Yeah, shout out Austin. Yeah, he helped mix and master most of the songs on this album, except for Wish, which we'll get to. But yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Puzzle.
Right.
The, puzzle, uncertainty, sensuality, introduction to the album.
Right.
And then we get into Stuck.
Stuck.
We don't have to go through each and every song
Yeah.
if you don't, but up to you.
Yeah, I think
We can do highlights if you want.
we can absolutely do highlights. Yeah, and I think we talked a little bit about Stuck
Yes.
earlier, where I was in a dark place, and I think sonically it just worked so well after Puzzle because it also has that deep, dark minor chords,
Yeah.
esque vibe to it.
Yeah.
And in a puzzle, sometimes when you're starting the puzzle and you're organizing the pieces and you're putting things away or you're making the border, it's really hard to know where to start.
Right.
And you
yeah.
feel sort of stuck.
Ah.
Did she do that on purpose? And so I think it fits so well storyline wise, and then also sonically, it just continues the kind of depth and suspense and unsettledness that Puzzle has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, I will say one thing.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed adding to that one. That one is fantastic, by the way. It's a fully live recorded song. So we have Chris Askins on guitar. We have Jamie Larkin on drums. And we have Mitchell Flint on bass. And these are all just fantastic Bay Area musicians.
All-star crew.
All-star
That's an
crew.
all-star crew right there.
And they just, I had been playing around with it on MIDI for a while and just nothing sounded right. And they just came in and made the song what it
Yeah.
is. And it features a fantastic, incredible double guitar solo, actually, by Chris, where he did two different guitar voicings and
Did he
two
pan
different
them?
solos, and then we sort of paired them together.
Ah,
And it
yeah,
sounds
okay.
so cool in the bridge. But one thing was when we got all the instruments together, I loved adding some of the I call them ghost ad libs
Okay.
in the bridge. and it's this very sort of back reverbed ad lib,
Yeah.
and I'm just singing one note the whole time. So if you go back and listen to it, there's just one little voice at the top, and it's sort of just trailing. And every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh my God, it feels like there's a little ghost
Mm-hmm.
haunting that little area. It's a lot of ghost imagery, I feel like, in my music. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You are a ghost.
yeah. I am
I
what?
don't, I don't know. I don't know why I said that.
I am a ghost, guys, apparently. um but yeah, and then I will say it goes really well into Pieces, which is the
Mm-hmm.
third song of the
Mm-hmm.
album, because that one is also live recorded, and that's more of a alternative pop rock piece. Also, Chris Askins on guitar and Jamie Larkin on drums, and Mitchell does the bass line live
Mm.
for us whenever we perform as well.
I want to say I love Pieces.
Yeah,
It makes me feel nostalgic because I
yeah.
used to listen to Paramore a lot,
Yes,
and Pieces is very Paramore. It just
absolutely.
like I feel like I could be listening to Paramore right
Oh,
now when I listen to
absolutely.
Pieces.
That's my like wannabe Haley Williams moment.
Yeah,
That's like I love her and I
yeah,
love Paramore and also grew up on them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really upbeat one too. It's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Um After that, it's sort of I can just keep kind of going through the
sure,
album, but
yeah.
after that, Timing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Timing, one of my favorite songs. That one I always love to say, I feel like it wrote itself.
Mm.
It's a song that sort of just came out of me,
Mm.
and gosh, I don't even know what to say. It's just so beautiful, and
It is.
it's a ballad, so it's
Yeah,
very emotional, and
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia packed in there. There's a lot of regret. There's a lot of feelings of right person, wrong time, and that
Mm-hmm.
concept, which I actually don't believe in. I actually think there is no such thing. I think that
Wait, what? Say more.
I actually think that the right person will come to you at the right time.
I
I don't
see. So you
think
think
that
right time is a part of being the right person?
absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. I think that our universe is guided by time and space.
Oh,
And I feel like I
they
don't
are
know.
not
The moment I
separate.
started thinking of saying that, I was like, "This is too dramatic." But I think given that and just how things have turned out in my life, I do feel like the person comes along at the right time. Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's a super nostalgic song. I know that one I dropped as a single too in
Mm-hmm.
December. And
Mm-hmm.
fun fact about that one actually, that melody, so the main melody line
Mm-hmm.
is from 2022 when I
I
had
see.
recorded it. So I never re-recorded that one.
Ah.
And so there's like a younger version of me that's singing that. And all the ad libs that I added later, the reverbs and stuff like that, were all this past year.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like this really comforting thing of an older version of myself
Yeah.
comforting a younger version of myself on the
Wow.
recording.
That's incredible. And aptly named timing because it's like
Yeah.
across time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I
That's
didn't
cool.
even plan that. It just worked out
Yeah.
that way,
Just
which
worked
is
out.
really, really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then after that is fucking Doses.
Mm, slap in the face after timing.
Doses is crazy.
Yeah.
Doses is crazy.
Didn't expect that one, huh?
I didn't. It's like please tell me about how the fuck you came up with Doses.
Yeah. um Yeah, I do want to hear your reaction to it too at like the release party. But um it was actually an outro that I
Mm,
wrote to another song that hasn't seen the light of day.
mm,
Um Maybe it will at some point. I don't know. I don't know about that song. But it was an outro to another song, and when I took it to the studio, it was very short. It was just, there's one stanza in that goes, "I'm terrified of the way you make me feel alive. On the days we speak, you tell me lies like doses every day and night." And so that section was it.
mm.
And there was another part that was supposed to be the transition from the other song into this, which was "Tell me to stay, tell me you'll stay." And it's this very creepy, ghosty, again, ghosty. Um,
line. She's a ghost.
She's a ghost. I don't know why I chose the ghost life, but here I am. And I took it into the studio, and Austin and I were sitting with it. And, I decided not to come out with that other song. And so Austin heard it and he was like, no, we can do something with this. And I was like, okay. And I remember we just sat in the studio for a few hours and we were like rearranging it, being like, repeat this here and move this here. And let's have this be a refrain. And we added a verse and the trap beat was always sort of the idea. So, Doses has a sort of trap beat underneath it.
Yeah.
Very outro-y. My inspirations for that were definitely like the outro to Bad Idea by Ariana Grande, or even Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. They both have bad in it. Maybe I should have named mine Bad Doses.
Bad Doses.
Bad Doses. So it was always going to be inspired by that, but I think the form and the sort of the wave of the song came together with Austin. And he's so cool. I mean, I can't describe. That was maybe one of my favorite studio sessions because we were just literally tearing it apart and putting it back together and moving things around and being like, oh, that doesn't work at all, and then making one change and being like, that's cool. And that kind of those moments are so electric.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Doses just has something in it, bro. I'm obsessed with that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can just imagine being part of that creative process. Like, I feel like listening to Doses, like, I'm like, you were definitely in the flow state.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You guys were cooking.
We were cooking.
You were doing something in there.
We were cooking.
You're probably on something in there.
You know what? I'm going to take this moment to say I was fully sober. We were just geniuses born from the universe.
Born from time and space.
From time and space entirely.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you think of it hearing? Because I know it's so different from the rest of my album. And I'm always so curious as to how people feel about Doses because we sort of just slapped it together.
Yeah. I mean, it was very cool. I heard it for the first time before the album release. Remember in the car
you
that
did?
time?
Oh, we have a reaction video.
Yeah, we're doing that reaction video.
So good.
And yeah, genuinely, I was like everything was unexpected.
Yeah.
In the best way, right?
Yeah.
Like there was the I didn't expect the trap beat in there. I didn't expect like that combined with like the operatic kind of singing and the like epicness of it, and like it was just, this is not a sound I've heard before. And that's always, amazing because it's like you have created something.
Oh, that means so much
on so many levels. So
that's incredible. I'm so glad
Doses
you could feel that way.
Cool.
Dude, that's awesome. The Doses is my audition, films and TV shows. Doses is my audition for cinematic music. I think it has that unexpectedness and it has that drama as well.
Yeah.
Ah, that's good. And then it goes right into Wish. I know.
The classic banger.
So, I feel like there's not much to say about Wish from my end. I don't know if you have anything specific, but it's just a fantastic song. Dust Breaks, he's a great, amazing producer from the Bay Area. He does D&B music. He just opened for an artist on Saturday.
Yeah, he just opened for Memba. Yeah, shout out Dust Breaks.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible guy. So we just met last year through different connections, and we worked on Wish together, and I had to rewrite a couple parts to kind of fit the new sound that I wanted to make it somewhere between Dust Breaks genre and mine, because I just love what he does so much. And it just turned out to be like such a hype, fantastic house EDM sound.
Yeah.
And I think it just adds so much to the album because it adds the range, of course, of the genres, but also like a light moment for everyone to just kind of get up and move around and feel a little bit more free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does the job.
Yeah, it does the job.
It does the job.
Yeah.
And then the album ends with honestly, the song that might be my favorite song on the album.
Really?
Like it's weird. I feel like I have different favorites for different reasons.
I like that answer.
But this was my first time hearing this. I feel like I had heard every other song before.
Yeah.
But not this song at all. The first time I heard it was at the album release party.
Yeah.
And I was surprised I
Right.
just didn't expect it, and it was so beautiful,
Thank you.
just beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Well, so the song is called Picturing
Picturing
Us.
us, yeah.
And thank you. It has the least production on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's it was a song that I would just sing on my ukulele, and that was the second song that I ever wrote. So that one
Yeah.
was after Stuck. And you know, it's such an interesting thing. So many people have told me that after the album release that Picturing Us has snuck into their favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And that surprises me too, but it makes me so happy because it's literally just my voice and a ukulele and a couple harmonies.
Mm-hmm.
And we added Austin, my amazing mix mastering engineer, onto the track as well. He does
Is he
some
the one that's
background.
doing the layering
Yes.
vocals? Okay, I was
He
wondering
has
who
the
that
little
was.
like layer background vocals
Yeah.
because we just thought the song just it's so nostalgic and sweet and
Mm-hmm.
romantic, and it does so well with a male voice
Yeah.
added in. Um and yeah, the charm about that song is it's just so simple. It's so simple, and it's literally just telling a story, about this girl, and it paints really nice visuals that I love. Like, we're watching TV, curled on my couch, and you're there next to me, but there's a mountain range of pillows between us. And like it's so pillowy and yet sad, you
Mm.
know? It's like, oh, there's this distance, but you want to be closer. Um yeah, it's such a pleasant surprise that people love that one as much as I do. And I think I was a little bit unsure about putting it on the album because it's so, again, sonically different from everything else, and
Sure.
it's so sort of peaceful
Yeah.
compared to the rest of my music. But I think it just adds so much dimension now that
Yeah.
it's on there. Yeah,
It's I think it couldn't go anywhere else at the end other than at the end as
other
well.
than
I
at the
think it's a
end.
great ending.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so unsure about that between Wish and Picturing Us,
Mm.
because you can end an album on like Wish is this banger, and you can be like, and mic drop out.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's great for a show. That's
Yeah.
great for a live performance to be like, you end with a hype song and you kind of disappear and the audience is like, wow,
Yeah.
But I think on an album, first of all, I think it's just named so aptly, Picturing Us. Okay, you have puzzle and then you have the picture, right? All put together.
There you go.
But two, I think ending the album on a hopeful note, on a sweet note,
Mm-hmm.
back to the main idea, which is love and loving yourself, and also following where love takes you in life. And that's where every song from the album comes from.
Yeah.
And so I think it did a good conclusion,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, great album. Great
Thank
album.
you.
Congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
release.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on the release party and the
Yeah.
concert you did where the cops got called.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations on the cops getting called on you.
It was awesome. Shout out to the cops. They actually liked the music, right?
They actually did.
You did
Yeah,
you talk
I
to them?
talked to them and they were saying, we were driving down, it sounds really good.
They were like, "We're so sorry, you have to shut it down."
Yeah,
But oh my
like
gosh.
some neighbor complained. I
Yeah,
guess.
we were doing this backyard concert, or front
Yeah.
yard concert, I should say. And um someone came in, they were like, "Oh, the cops are here, the cops are here." So naturally I was like, "All right, everyone get back inside. We're gonna shut this down." And then you came up to me at the party and you were like, "They liked it though.
They
Maybe we
like-
should have kept going." And I was like, "Oh man, we should have invited them to come
Right.
join
Oh man,
us."
that would have been crazy.
That
I
was
wish I
awesome.
wish I was wearing like Raphael's meta glasses when I was talking to the cops.
I'm thinking about calling the city and getting the dash cam if I can. It'd be so funny if I do.
Or just throw another concert.
Oh yeah, and just get another noise
Just
complaint.
more cops.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you so much for coming. And I have to say, like, I think joining this community in the Bay Area, there's so many fantastic musicians here. Zale being one of them, incredible musician. He has so much music out, and
Stop.
no, I shall never. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support. You've been such a great person to turn to for, throughout this whole journey of me turning into the artist that I want to be, and creating this platform to talk about this. And yeah, props to everyone here, but you especially, for being an artist that goes above and beyond to support their peers. Truly.
Thank you.
It means a lot.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I want to do what I can to help the community.
Yeah.
And I mean, someone else in the room with us is
he's unseen,
is
but
one
he's
of the
here.
one of the pillars of this community.
He's a ghost.
He's the real ghost.
He's the real ghost.
Yeah. So shout out Raphael.
Yeah.
Raphael Unplugged.
Absolutely.
Definitely a pillar of this community who does like almost all this shit is his gear. So.
Oh yeah, this whole setup is honestly both of you guys know. Shout out Raphael. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what's it been like promoting the album and doing all of that kind of work that isn't the music?
That's such an interesting question. So I'm generally so positive, you know, when it comes to all this stuff. And I still want to have that when it comes to marketing. It's hard. Being an independent artist and having honestly the privilege that I have right now of being able to pour all my time and energy into it, which a lot of people don't have. It's really difficult to find the time, videotape everything, and sort of, you know, have to think outside the box all the time, record, edit. It takes away from the music sometimes, you know, and it takes away from what I really want to do as an artist. But you know, at the same time, one thing that I've been trying to change is my perspective on that, because you know, I think that the more excited I am about my music and show that outwardly, which I am, and I love the music that I make, and I think all artists should love the music that they're making, and the more we just share that excitement and love and, you know, hope that we find the people that really love listening to us, I think with that perspective, marketing is just a part of the package deal. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've been doing a good job of it. I feel like the album release thing was
that was
good
fun.
way to.
I love putting on an event. I love putting on a program.
Yeah.
The social media stuff can get to my head sometimes, but I love going out and about, playing gigs.
Yeah.
Connecting with people live is my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Malali was joking at the party. He was like, next album. I was like, guys, we're at the release party. Give me a moment. I have songs.
Right. She has songs, people.
I have songs. But while that continues to happen, it's in the works. I do have a music video coming out for Puzzle this week. I don't know when this episode will come out, so maybe it's already out.
Yeah, it's probably last week is the
last week
video.
Maybe. Yeah. So that's for Puzzle. So that's coming out, and then I'm going to be performing live all over the Bay Area for the next few months. So you can catch me. I'll be doing a couple shows. Hopefully South Bay, San Francisco area, maybe Oakland. I'm trying to get something booked there. And so yeah, come out. I'd love to see you. I'd love to perform for you guys and connect with you. So yeah.
Amazing. Where can people find you? Where can people support you?
Yes, you can find me on Spotify at Apurva, Apurva, or Instagram, apurva.official.music, and Facebook, same thing, I think. So you can find me sort of everywhere. And then, yeah, I have a website as well, apurvamusic.com, same spelling, Apurva. And I am excited. Hopefully this time next year, I want to do a little country tour if I can and kind of go around. So hopefully people will be able to find me more and more.
Amazing. Anything we here at Nebulum can do to support you, please let us know. Let me know.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
It's been an honor talking to you. This was great.
Absolutely.
And best of luck on
Thank you.
Your journey. You're going to be a star.
Thank you. You too.